What is good? We're back. Bye pod. We got there we go. We're ready to roll. We got a fresh crack. We got Jay Wayne. We got your boy CM ready to go. So we just did a 23 versus 24 kind of picks versus kind of deal here. And we'll be doing some more of that in the near future. But today we wanted to do a little bit more digging on some first round values. So we're doing a startup right now with rookies for your pleasure, of course. That'll be out real soon. We'll be breaking it down as per usual. But we wanted to, just start looking ahead a little bit. Way too early look ahead for kind of guys that are going around the rookies right now. So wanted to bring some of those guys to your attention, see if there was anybody you felt strongly about, hey, maybe that guy would be the guy you would sell for Caleb or MJH or, whoever. So, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, 5-star review, all that jazz. But like I said, we're going to grab some guys who were around where the rookies went and kind of talk about a first or this mystery box over here. I guess the first would be the mystery box, sort of, because we don't know exactly what those things are going to do. We could jump right into Caleb because, that's everybody's excited about that he went 110. In the mock with rookies. So we're obviously they don't have the rookies in the sleeper, so we're using kickers. And then you type it into the chat. So Chase, JJ, Lamar, Trevor, AR-15 are kind of guys that went around Caleb Williams. You feel strongly in either direction about any of those guys that Caleb has to be behind or in front of? Because it feels like Chase and JJ, you got to know what you're getting there, but, it's a quarterback that, we're talking about a quarterback that could be up in the front half of Superflex drafts, right? And we're talking Superflex tight end premium in this mock, as per usual. But Caleb's, got that it where he could be that sought-after asset as, Mahomes, Hurts, Allen, Burrow, Herbert sometimes.
Yeah, there's basically like 6-ish quarterbacks
right.
to go
and we know Lamar can do it,
Sure.
and puts up those big ceiling. We just saw it last night or whatever day it is right now.
Thursday night.
Yeah, but it hasn't always been there. The team's been good, so Lamar hasn't necessarily needed to carry the team all the time.
At all.
Right.
Wild.
So, is Lamar or Caleb? It feels like I got to side with Lamar a little bit here, but, the mystery box of Caleb seems like a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, I probably am taking Lamar, I guess, but Caleb's probably more valuable.
Trevor or Caleb. I think I gotta go Caleb.
He's more valuable.
You're right. So Justin Jefferson or Caleb?
See, that's very specific to your team, whether you got to do that or not. Like if you're stacked at quarterback and you have an early pick, I don't mind trading it for Justin Jefferson. I'm never going to be mad at you acquiring Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Bijan. These guys, the elite young studs that are going to carry massive amounts of value. Probably got to go Jefferson.
Yeah. I think I lean Jefferson just because I kind of know what I'm getting. He's still super young. I think the best receiver in the game, you could say Chase. I think it's Jefferson.
No Justin Jefferson injury, you might not even be able to get him with just straight up the 1-1.
It'd be at least, I think that's what it takes anyway, because he's just that damn good and that big of a difference maker and just going to have him for 10 years. So,
yeah.
Tua went before Caleb in this draft, which, I don't agree with that at all. I don't like that. But AR-15 went after him, so Anthony Richardson went after Caleb. Would you rather have Anthony Richardson or Caleb?
No one's going to like this, but...
You going Anthony?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't go wrong. You probably should take Caleb. Caleb
right.
probably has more value.
Most likely. The unknown and the sexiness. And he'll get... He's already been getting some pushback, and some people are, out of structure, which I'm not buying. He's good in structure too. He's just
cry and let cry. That's what I say.
He's freakishly athletic and a lot of fun. So it almost seems like you got to go Caleb. We've seen. What Anthony Richardson was kind of doing in his little bit of time spent there was what you would want.
What, getting hurt?
Yeah, right.
Because that's all he did.
Right.
That's all. He's injury prone for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned because he could not stay healthy in 4 out of the 5 games that he played in.
I think he's going to be fine.
Guys, settle down, okay? We understand that Anthony Richardson got hurt a bunch. I mean, it is what it is. But to pin it on him for the rest of his career is asinine. Stop.
Yeah. Relax.
Settle down.
Relax.
You don't know everything you think you know right now about Anthony Richardson.
Right. Nobody does. But, I think it's Caleb over pretty much everything at this point. Outside of a few things there. So let's keep it moving. Marvin Harrison Jr. went at 2.5, which I think that's probably about where we'll see him going in startups next year. I think that could even get pushed to the end of the first. So, all these are subject to change. This is all going to sort out through the draft process. We're just kind of having some fun here. We've been in the season all along. Some people are out at this point. So just trying to get you never too early to get prepped for the 2024. So Marvin Harrison Jr. or CeeDee Lamb. Marvin Harrison already inside the top 3. I'm going CD.
Yeah.
I guess. AJ Brown or Marvin Harrison Jr.
I could go Marvin Harrison Jr.
I'll go Marvin Harrison. I think it's a little recency bias on CD right now because I'm sure, not us personally, but there was a lot of people who have kicked CD out of the clubhouse. Being
well, it took him till
guys.
Now to start producing, at an elite pace. Before it was like he's not killing you, and he's kind of helping, and the potential is there, and that's why we always were pretty much standing fast with him at 3.
Right.
And people were mad that he hadn't come to fruition yet, even though he's probably 23 years old. I'll pull it up here, but
he's still pretty young.
He
might be 24.
I hesitate when you ask me CeeDee Lamb versus Marvin Harrison Jr. It's like I guess you should probably
AJ Brown's a little bit older.
Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know because of the value, but because he's probably wide receiver 3 in Dynasty already.
If not, he's around the same tier as CD. So I think that's what I'm saying. I think we're kind of close to where Marvin Harrison will kind of end up.
If I have CD, I'm just going to keep him.
He'll probably be around.
And if I have the chance to draft Marvin Harrison, I'm probably just going to do that.
Yeah.
So it's probably a scenario where whatever it is, I'm not mad at either one of them.
Yeah. I mean, if Marvin Harrison was 112 and CD was 2-1, I wouldn't necessarily be upset about that.
Bag them both.
Right. Well, I didn't mean it that way, but yeah. We already did Bijan in the 24 versus 23 video, so we'll kind of skip that. I think we both. I took Bijan in that. Nobody likes that. But Garrett Wilson. I think this is interesting because I think Garrett Wilson, if Aaron Rodgers was there, if he wasn't, he's been pretty solid all year long, and it seems like he's just a product of the environment right now that's holding him down. But he's clearly one of the best receivers in the league already. He moves different. His twitch is different. He gets open. If Aaron Rodgers was there, I think we would be talking about Garrett Wilson potentially right now up in the Justin Jefferson stratosphere. So I would say even to leaning Garrett Wilson here. What do you think?
Oh man, give me the shiny box.
All right.
Give me the box.
I like it.
Give me Marvin Harrison, I guess.
All right.
Which I think Garrett Wilson's a nice little buy low. I think
if anybody's out,
he's not low. You're still gonna have to pay a lot, but he's cheaper than he should be. So, but that being said, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is more valuable.
Right. So let's keep it moving here. We'll skip a couple of guys. Well, let's go to Penix. He went 4.3. And I took him, so he might have slid even a little further.
This dude is just steady.
Wait, we're gonna have fun breaking that one down.
He was planting flags. Is Casey? He likes peanuts.
I love Penix. I like it in the morning. I like it in the afternoon. Fills me up.
I'm sure it does.
So Penix, or at 4.3, was about where he went. So some guys around him were Jared Goff or Penix for you.
You tell me.
I'm. That's a tough one because Goff's playing really well. I don't think you're.
My gut reaction would be say Penix, but just because it's a fresh, shiny object and Goff is old and doesn't know west from east,
Right. I mean, and there could be even maybe you see similar, trajectories from Penix depending on where he lands to Goff. I mean, I'm not saying I think
he's
Penix
about
is
as old as Goff, right?
I think Penix is a better player. I think
he was old.
I think he's 24 or 25, so he's older.
Does that concern you?
No, he got hurt. He's 23 actually, so
he's a quarterback. Is the answer to that question? Are you mad about his age?
I don't care at all, but I'll take Penix there.
He's not Brandon Whedon old.
How about Kenny Three Sticks or Penix?
I'll take the bird in the bush.
I don't know what that means.
Let me get Kenneth Walker.
Taking Kenny Walker. I'm taking Penix.
Yeah. He's a quarterback. So what? So Penix. What did you say? That was 1-4?
4-3.
Which, but that correlates to the 4th overall pick in a rookie draft.
Yeah, that would have been 1-4. Correct.
Which it doesn't seem like anyone's really on board with that. You might be the only one pushing Penix up to 1-4.
When we talk, everybody likes Penix a little lower. They'll put Bowers and Nabers in there, which is fine. I mean, that's okay.
So would you trade, the 1-4 for Kenneth Walker? You probably should
take the 1-4.
Keep the 1-4.
Right. And that, when we get into the draft, that'll be kind of my rationale of some of these picks is like, if you're looking at this through a value chart a little bit here, I mean, and depending on where Penix goes, but it's like he's going to be a first-round quarterback. I don't see any way around that unless something catastrophic happens to him at the end, and there's a chance he wins the Heisman. And I really like everything of kind of what he does. It seems like it's what the modern NFL wants, that big chunk, efficient player, and I've gone over this a million times. So I think I would go Penix over Goff there. I don't hate Goff. Goff seems stable, firm, solid starter, and
it's not fun,
right? But I mean, it's not going anywhere for 4 or 5 years, and even if it's not the Lions, which I don't know why it wouldn't be. I think Goff he's gotten so much better as things have gone. He was supposed to be a stopgap, and he's not. So, but I'll go Penix, just shiny new toy here. How about Devontae Smith or Penix?
I guess you probably take the 1-4. You take the 1-4, whether it's Penix or Nabers or Brock. I think Devontae Smith probably is not worth as much as those that high pick.
Right.
I love Devontae Smith. Yeah, I think he's great, and we have always loved Devontae Smith since coming out of school. But he doesn't get the respect that I don't think he deserves. I think he deserves more respect than he gets. I also understand the hesitancy being there with A.J. Brown and being there with Jalen Hurts. And
I think you're going to, now that Goddard's down, unfortunately, I think you're going to have a nice little resurgence of really. And I don't think Smith's been necessarily bad.
No,
over
he's
the
been
course of the
solid.
year.
He just, it's not.
He has some big games.
Everybody doesn't crush every week over there.
Right. They can win in a lot of different ways as well.
So probably take the pick.
Right. I think I agree there. And there really wasn't that much else surrounding there. Like Bryce Young, I think
the pick.
You got to go with the pick there. I mean, and it's no slight on Bryce, just the situation stinks.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a hole to climb out of for them. I think Bryce is a good player. How about Drake? Drake London or
the pick.
The pick, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a no-brainer at that point when we got to that point in the draft. And just Penix falling to the 4th, which I don't think that'll happen. I think once he's a first-round pick and everybody gets it through their head that that's what's happening, I just feel like we're in such a quarterback deficient zone here that.
And this is our first mock that we've done.
Sure,
with
we're
rookies,
having fun. We're having fun with rookies, and we're seeing where guys are going.
There's no rookie tab on there right now. I mean, there is, but it's the 2023 rookies, and Sleeper doesn't even have their regular ADP kind of updated because Puka Nacua is way down there and Nico Collins is way down there. So when you're in a draft and these rookies aren't up there, or when you're scrolling through it, it pushes them down. You know what I mean? When there's rookies there, Nabers isn't going to make it to the 4th round.
No way.
I
don't think so. That's why I kept taking him. And I don't know why anybody else wasn't.
Probably the top 6 plus picks aren't going to make it to the 4th round,
right.
or would be 4th round picks. So generally when you're trading, if you're in a startup and you want to get back into this draft with your next year's future first, basically it's like equivalent to a 6th round pick.
I usually go 4 through 6 is probably the cutoff where I'm willing to move a first for one of those guys. Obviously, when they're higher up, it's more. But once you get into that range, there's certain guys that I'd still pay a first for to get back in there. So still like Drake, but I mean Penix is my
Drake's a great buy candidate right now.
Right,
but you couldn't. I don't think you can sell him for the 1-4.
Right.
No way.
So Rome, Odunze, and Keon Coleman go back to back here, so I kind of put them together. And I took one of them. While I was making this pick, I texted into the group, I'm fucking twisted up like a pretzel here, man. Like, I don't know what to do, because it was Flowers, Hollywood, Javonte, and Ayuk. And I'm like, I like every single one of those guys. And then you have the shiny new object, and I feel like at face value of what that is right now, currently as things stand, Rome is probably a middle to low middle first rounder, and I think that's basically what all of those guys, Flowers, Hollywood, Javonte, and Ayuk, are probably worth. right now. So I think that was kind of even. That was kind of an either. I just struggled. So I took one of the rookies. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I could see taking the rookies. I mean, Flowers, we're recording on a Friday night. This will probably drop Monday. So we just watched the Ravens game, and you saw that 68-yard touchdown.
We have plans after this. We're not just recording.
You saw, yeah. No, we're just fucking getting this shit in for your pleasure. Mm-hmm. We're delaying our own fun because this is so much fun. It used to be anyway. Now it feels like a job.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I'm having fun.
I have fun when I'm sitting here with you, but then after that, it's a lot of work. But no, we're getting it in. What was the question? I think so. I just wanted to comment on how Zay Flowers looked last night. You were like, oh my God. And even with that touchdown call back, and maybe there was another big flag that called back a big catch of his, but it seemed like he had more fantasy points than he had. Like, I think he only had like 8 PPR points or something crazy like that. I was like, this was almost like, it felt like his coming out party again, which he kind of already has like early on in the season. And it was a shame that Andrews went down, and then Odell's having a resurgence, but you saw what Flowers can do, and you see him like there was actually that pass interference. He was open. If that would have been a touchdown of Lamar, he didn't have to come back to it. So there was plays for Zay. I'm super excited about Zay. His value's down a little bit right now. He's probably the one on that list that I feel most like attracted to, even though I do like Hollywood, Javonte. I think you probably got to take the picks.
Yeah, I like taking Javonte in that spot. I like him. I think he's
Give me the new young.
I think he's on the
receiver.
up, but you're it's still 24 coming into next year off an injury, which probably he could never have another knee problem in his whole life, or it could be 3 or 4 years before it pops up again, or it could be next year. I don't know, and I really like Javonte. Been on the buy window for me all year, but I took the shiny new object there, and maybe I'm just falling victim. But Flowers was close. Ayuk was right there. And Hollywood is, always a favorite of mine. Buy low right now as well. So that was a tough decision, but I thought that was a really good spot where the rookies started equaling out to around where the value is kind of correct.
And this is always an interesting conversation because we're basing this off of a mock draft we did that was a startup mock, right? So when you're in a startup, rookies carry different value than they do when you have an established league and you're talking about a rookie draft. So it's always interesting, like, would you trade this guy for this guy? Well, not necessarily, but if in a startup I would, but in a rookie draft I wouldn't. It's just like interesting, like where
psychology
they're going
there,
right? And so, but I never understood what's the fucking difference if you take him in a startup? Why wouldn't you trade that guy for him in a rookie draft?
So. Depends on team construction sometimes. I mean, you take the value where the value is and figure the rest out later.
I think these rookie picks are just going to go more and more and more and more valuable, whereas it's going to probably take a lot for some of these guys to even move up. Like Flowers has move-up ability. I guess they all kind of do.
And now
maybe
with Andrews,
Ayuk,
maybe Flowers might move up a little bit.
But a lot of those guys
have already moved up.
Right, and he's crushed too. He hasn't moved up enough. He's still a value even in these startups.
I think he's where he should be.
But it took a lot for him to get to where he should be, even. And so I think the picks
had to make sure that last year wasn't like a fluke in those in throughout the season there. And he's just, I don't know where he's going to be next year. But any which way, I feel fine about him. So
yeah, he's a stud.
He's great. He's still only 25 or 26 too. So
he's not 26.
So yeah, Ayuk is solid there. So that was the first time where I was like really twisted up about who to take there, and I like all those guys. So that was good value right around all being kind of the same. So the next one, which was a little higher, I skipped over this one and just went last with it because we already talked about Bowers in the 24-23 one. So I wanted to skip over him for a second, but come back to Bowers. We're talking tight end premium. He went 410. That's the 5th overall rookie, and if I'm not in there, maybe he goes 4 overall rookie wise without Penix. So we talked about this a little bit already, but Bowers or Laporta?
I don't know that I care.
Yeah, I'll go Bowers.
I would probably say just Laporta because I've seen it on the NFL field, but
Bush and a bird or something.
Two birds, one bush.
How about Addison or Bowers?
I feel like Addison is fucking slaying. I don't think he's had a game under 10 points the whole season.
I think he had one goose egg.
And no one cares, I feel like.
No. I mean, that's really, I think what has transformed Addison in a lot of people's minds, whether you were in or out, was just the absence of JJ, and then even some absence of Kirk, and Addison still being a pretty good start each week and looking very capable of being the guy that you're kind of, obviously Hawkinson had a great this last week, but he's been good all year, a big part of that offense. So seems like Addison has kind of emerged as and we talked about this that he could very well be the wide receiver one as far as rookies who score the most points, and it's it's coming to fruition.
But I didn't think that no one would care.
That nobody. I think they care. Like I thought you were saying nobody cares that he got the 0. I think
nobody cares that he's been so good.
I think plenty of people care. I think they got people on notice. I mean, shit, he just went in the 4th round or whatever this was. Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty solid. He's moved up. He hasn't gone down after the rookie year, or at least slid a little bit. He's above JSN and Flowers. So, I don't know where JSN went. A couple picks behind him. So, Addison went 4.12. JSN went 5.3. So, but JSN's starting to come on. So, that could be the next question. Well, Addison or Bowers.
Tight end premium. I guess I could default to Bowers.
Okay. You sticking with JSN, though, or you same thing?
I guess let me get Bowers.
Okay, I like it. How about, Puka went after all those guys, but Puka's probably put up more numbers than, at least in sections anyway.
Puka showed a high ceiling as a floor almost there for a minute. He set the whole world on fire. And now that he hasn't performed for a couple weeks, people are like, I could see him fading back into just being a mid wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could see him being the new Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
So probably somewhere between there.
That's usually how that goes.
Somewhere between fading away into mid and being the best wide receiver in the game.
He's still wide receiver 10.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't have Stafford throwing it to him.
Right. I think he's about to get him back this week.
Let's go. Let's get Stafford back.
Had a couple downs, but some ridiculous weeks in there and just, can get it done.
I mean, he led off the year 20, 30, 12, 30, 20. People are like, oh, fuck, 6, 23. He's back.
I sold too cheap.
7, 6. Oh, now he's bad.
Right. Now he stinks
like,
again.
God damn, with an injured quarterback.
And, we all do it. It's confirmation bias one way or another.
We don't do it.
I mean, we do it somewhat. I mean, we stick with guys, and it's mostly because I'm not a guy who changes my opinion that rapidly, unless there's new information, or I'm like, nah, he really can't play. Then I'll. But I'm usually in it for a little bit more of the long game. We come to you every week talking a bunch of stuff, because that's what you got to do. You got to come out here and raise interesting points and talk, about all the different guys and whose value's up, whose value's down on the week to week. It's Dynasty is as more and more people come. It seems like it's more and more a little bit redraft in season, which it always has been. But it seems like as the more and more you get an influx, especially from, it's growing at a rapid rate, you're getting a little bit more of that redraft crowd who hasn't settled in yet and some people just aren't those guys at all. Like it's if I drafted you in the first round, if you're not coming out and swinging, I'm going to try to trade you and get back to as close, which, I think that's a fine way to play. If that's how you're always going to play, you just got to live with the ones that you're going to miss out on, but you're probably going to stay fairly net positive in value. You just got to figure out which ones you're keeping, and if they hit right away, if it's fake or real. I mean, much kind of like Puka, but I'm sure a lot of those guys that play that way probably would have sold Puka for the first as soon as they could have got it,
or the second as soon as they could have got it.
Was that the right or the wrong value? And we talk about that all the time. That's one thing that we always try to sort out. So
we were holding Puka throughout that whole run.
I held him the whole time. I have him on 3 or 4 teams out of the 10 Dynasty teams or whatever. And I got him. He didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I got 2 of 2 Puka shares still. So
all right, last one real quick. Let's go old Stephon Diggs on a winner, or you trade Bowers. You get Bowers because they kind of right around the same spot.
It's just so hard to answer in a vacuum.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to throw one old guy in here, but you're right. I mean, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? You're going to trade a guy who's getting you 20 to 30 points a week for the better dynasty asset?
I mean, probably should.
Right? How can you, though, if you're trying to win?
Right.
But if you're not trying to win, you probably already
sold. It's a declining asset. but he's helping you win money, and that at the end of the day is the objective. But
you might not see your return on investment on Bowers fast enough to justify missing out on the points you just lost with Diggs. But like, are you trying to win right now?
And it's not like, if you don't. This is a vacuum, but like if you didn't get, however this scenario played out, if you didn't get Bowers, there's probably still some value you could cash in on Diggs, but. It seems like Bowers is the answer, but
I don't think you can get Bowers with Diggs.
No, I don't think so either. But it's just kind of how that played out.
Like
old guys got to go somewhere.
What about like Diggs or Nabers or Keon Coleman?
I'll take Nabers.
And Keon?
I think I'm pretty much resetting the clock on the older guy, unless my roster's set up in a way that I'm probably not going to have a chance at those guys anyway.
Odunze
in a rookie
too?
draft. I mean, this is a startup, obviously.
Yeah,
but it's all relative in some.
So
sort of
you trade Diggs for 1, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'd for sure trade him to
8
to the Nabers Rome area.
Nabers Rome Odunze,
right, or Keon Coleman maybe. I'm not sure yet if he's up there. I kind of have the cutoff line at Nabers and Coleman right now, but. I haven't dove into these guys, but we're having fun. We're getting out in front of this. We're trying to talk about where the values are right now, and we'll see them change throughout the whole offseason.
Well, right now, it's Nabers as wide receiver 2. That is what everybody is demanding be the case right now. Right. And in fact, it could be better than Marvin Harrison Jr.
Maybe. A lot of ifs and maybes. But
that's more likely than him not being the wide receiver 2.
Maybe so. But I like Nabers a lot. He looks great, and all the metrics and numbers are going to stack up in his favor as well. So that's going to be good for his case. So anyway,
they stacked up for N'Keal Harry too.
That's all we got for tonight. Appreciate you guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment below, all that jazz. $5 holler on the Discord to get into these mocks, and we'll be putting some out to the public. So we got more shows coming up. We got this actual mock draft that we're here pulling this information from coming up, and we'll break that down. So again. Make sure you subscribe so you get all that information. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Had a little fun tonight. Just kind of wanted to give you an idea of where the value was in the first startup we did with the rookies. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you next time. Peace.
Ready roll. What a national treasure. Steve Kleiner.